All right, I want to show you some techniques for using marks to create shading with pen or pencil. And it's always true, pen or pencil, when you're drawing, when you're creating shading, you're making marks. You're not, even with pencil, you're not ever just kind of filling in. So I'm starting out by making just a few, not even measuring with the ruler, just making a few boxes lightly divided between one another. You know, they're approximately an inch or a little bit more, these boxes. And I just want to show you that I'm going to start by what's called hatching, which is just parallel lines. And I'm trying to fill in this first square. And you can see, look at the camera here. Yeah, you can see I'm just making marks. I'm not being all that careful about it. I'm going to crisscross them. This is called cross hatching. And I'm trying to be careful about filling up the rectangle the little square pretty clearly. I can go straight up and down. It just doesn't have to just be diagonal. And I want to make a range of values as needed. I'll turn the paper to kind of get to be comfortable with my hand. Before I make this too dark, I can jump down to the next square. Sorry, I'm just looking up here. Yeah, it's working. And I'm going to start adding some value here. Now this first one, which is going to be the darkest one, well, I might come back to that and darken it later if need be. I can't tell how dark it needs to be until I give it a neighbor. So I'm going to start working my way down here. Basically, if you make fewer marks and leave more white paper in between, then the value is lighter. So I'm going to go back to the first square now, make it a little darker still. Since I'm working with just a simple ballpoint pen, I've got another piece of paper under here because it needs to be a little soft, otherwise the roller on the pen won't work. I can even go down now and kind of lighter, lighter, lighter. You know, I've got 5 squares here, and I want to try and make a series of 5 kind of even steps. I can just quickly get some value in here. You know, that one might stay just like that, the lightest one. I can go back and start to darken these other ones a bit. I am not just leaving more white space, but I'm like not pressing as hard to make lighter marks as well. You know, even though ballpoint pen's kind of crude, it's not like the world's best drawing tool. You can still like make lighter and darker marks by pressing harder or pressing lighter. You can see I got to go back now and get to my darkest one. Ballpoint pen and crummy paper, this is just simple printer paper. It means that my paper is getting kind of warped. Pressing with a ballpoint pen kind of starts to wrinkle it. You can see the paper's getting a little wrinkled. Don't worry about that. So I would keep developing this. You can see it takes a little time. Look, I'm in my studio. I've got music on. This is something you can kind of get lost in. You do want to be careful not to leave like white halos around the squares. You want the squares to still be distinct from one another, to be like even steps down a stairway or something. So you want, you know, kind of a straight edge in between them, but you definitely don't want like a light area around the outside. Fill up the square entirely. I'm not sure that's totally finished, but it's done enough for now, because I also want to show you, I've just got a simple, this is a nice drawing pen. This is just a simple Sharpie, extra fine, whatever, that works. I'm going to make another scale here, and instead of using hatching, I want you to do the same thing basically, but with with some other kind of marks. As I draw this, I'm trying to not let my marks in between the squares be too dark. I just want to barely see those, because when we get down to the lighter areas, it can be hard to get rid of that line in between. For this one, I just want to try, I don't know, kind of a scribbly line. I mean, literally just scribbling. So by scribbling, again, I'm trying to fill in the square as much as possible. But by scribbling, I just mean exactly that. I mean scribbling. Sorry if my hand is blocking it as I work, but you can see the kind of marks I'm making, right? They're really just scribbling. And I can go to the second square and start scribbling lightly. Now that first square wants to get really dark, you know, like that one is, or darker, eventually. The Sharpie, I think my Sharpie's like slightly out of ink. So it's easier to sort of press light and get a not too dark mark. But I think there's enough in it if I start to press harder. Look, if you don't have a Sharpie, just keep using ballpoint pen. If you don't have a ballpoint pen, just use whatever pen you got. You can use the same pen for all of these if you want. Try to run the pen every which way. You don't want to just do circles in one direction. It'll start to look mechanical. You want to randomize your marks. And frankly, one thing's cool about this is your scribbles will actually look different than mine. It's got a little bit of a handwriting vibe to it, the scribbling thing. You can make like tighter scribbles and bigger scribbles. Let's see, it's starting to get that, that value thing. You can see it working. Now, sorry, you can scrub through this video. I don't want to make you watch every little bit, but I'm going to keep working on these, and I'm going to do the same with pencil, and maybe we'll talk about that when we talk in class. All right.